Well, hello. I'm here today with David Dooley. David is an author of a groundbreaking new book, I Can Fix America. I'm so excited to have you here, David. Thanks for joining me today.
It's great to be with you.
So, in this book, you talk about 52 common sense things people can do to fix America. What's wrong with America, and why does it need to be fixed?
Well, I actually grew up in a place called Flint, Michigan. And I came down to Georgia to go to school. But I grew up in a time in Flint where there were a lot of issues. There were a lot of issues with manufacturing. You know, Michigan has been kind of the canary in the coal mine of the economic collapse that we've seen in some of the issues we've experienced as a nation. And so I was kind of self-absorbed, kind of selfish early on in my life, and I just came down to Atlanta, started a couple of businesses, did my own thing, and then I realized as things were happening in America, I felt like, man, this kind of reminds me of what happened to Flint when I was growing up. And I realized that some of the problems that we deal with through either a political system or through a corporate system, or we outsource to different charities, if we don't individually take an active role in participating in solutions, then a lot of these problems persist and sometimes get so big that they eventually cause major damage. And so I felt like, hey, I want to write a book that empowers people with simple ideas to fix our healthcare system, to help fix our education system, to help fix some sense of entitlement issues that we have as a culture.
Absolutely.
And I wanted to write a book that was tangible, bite-sized, and allows people to begin the conversation and begin the good work of fixing and restoring America.
Absolutely, and that's what's so neat. When I met you, for those of you watching, I met David through, we serve on a board together, High Road Craft Ice Cream, which, shameless plug here, but
That's right.
I got to get the book, I was excited. Pick it up, and, I read the first chapter, if you will. I can mow the yard or help maintain a foreclosure in my neighborhood should I notice that it has gotten unsightly. That's the chapter. I just read chapter 1 right here live. That's amazing to me. But talk to me about that. So you're going into this saying, hey, I'm going on a journey over the next 52 weeks because there's 52 ways in this book. You're going on this journey to fix America, and you're applying these things. Talk to me a little bit about that process that you've been going through and what you've been experiencing.
Yeah, I just like most everyone out there, I just kind of got tired of hearing our quote-unquote leaders talk about solutions, yet don't live those principles in their own life. You know, they say one thing in a speech and do something other behind closed doors. And I thought, that's not true leadership. True leadership is walking the walk. Right?
Absolutely.
And I thought, if I'm going to write this book, and if I'm going to say, go and take care of foreclosed homes in the neighborhood because the banks are often neglecting them. And guess what happens when that house sells for rock bottom price? That affects your price. And now maybe you're locked into your house and you're not mobile to go take advantage of other opportunities in life. And maybe now the tax base has declined and there's real issues with that. So I thought, instead of watching the grass grow 3 feet tall, I'm going to go mow it. I'm not doing this for any recognition. I'm doing it because it's the right thing to do.
Absolutely.
And I'm going to actually live, as you talked about, each one of the 52 ideas, one a week, every week of 2012, because I'm going to practice what I preach. And I'm going to struggle through it. I'm 6 weeks in. This is the 6th week. And it's already been a difficult journey.
Yeah.
And I've been talking about it on the website, icanfixamerica.com. And, but as we all know, anything worth having is often hard work. And I think your viewers can appreciate that.
Absolutely.
Their own leadership positions because they acted.
Yeah, for sure. So tell me about one of the struggles that you've been experiencing. So you're 6 weeks in, you've looked at 6 of these. Are you going in order?
I'm not going in order. I'm going in random order.
Random order,
I have a method to my madness.
Nice.
But you have to check in every week to discover that madness.
Nice.
Or that method. And maybe it's a... But you know, I'm from Michigan, and so when I wrote this book, I was so. You think of anyone in the planet that should own a U.S.-based car, it would be me. I'm from Flint, Michigan, the birthplace of America, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I owned a foreign car. Now, there's nothing wrong with foreign cars. I love my car. But I had an opportunity. I was in a position I needed a new one. And so I thought, you know what? America needs help. Some of our automakers need help. Some of our friends and family that work at the auto shops need help. And I'm in a position to help. So I'm going to buy America this time. And it's just about doing simple things. So I sold the car, bought America. One of my biggest issues is being healthy, eating healthy, exercising. And so that's a constant struggle. And that was last week. I can eat. I can reduce my risk of cancer, diabetes, obesity, and other illnesses by eating more natural foods and less processed foods. And so, while simple to say,
everything's processed, man.
Right.
I mean, it doesn't matter where you go. It's like there's processed. Would you like processed food with that?
Right. Exactly. But you can do it. It's just to your point. Everything's processed. Well, not everything, but the work to get the more natural stuff. It's just work.
Yep.
Right? And we just have unfortunately developed this idea that quick is better. But quick is not always better. Convenience is better, but convenience is not always better. There's consequences to everything.
Absolutely. Well, you're an everyday guy. So, and that's what I love about this. So the audience watching this, Chick-fil-A Leadercast, attendees, Chick-fil-A Leadercast, host sites. These are everyday leaders in their local community who are putting on an event for everyday leaders to transform the leadership culture of America. And so you're not a guy that had multi-millions of dollars and you're just trying to make it rich, and that you have you've written this book as truly a way, as an entrepreneur effort to share a message. You have a unique platform now, listening to all 800 of our host sites plus all their attendees. We have about 125,000 people that'll be watching our event on May 4th. Who they're all out there trying to make a difference. So what advice can you give, other than buy the book, which you should all do? What other advice can you give to these leaders and people who really want to make a difference?
The advice is we're all counting on it, right? We have to lead through action. Those of you who are listening, it's going to be up to you to help restore America. When the greatest freedom and the greatest clarity I've ever received in my life is when I decided that my problems are my problems to fix. And many of the issues we face as a nation, if we take ownership of those, the path to fix them becomes a lot clearer. And what I think is missing from the dialogue, and this is where all of you leaders out there can participate, is provide solutions. Don't provide more talk about the problems. Problems exist out there. Housing issues, right? Problems in education. Making sure our children excel in school. Making sure they're healthy. Instead of talking about it, because we all know we need to aspire to be better, but what actions are we going to do to be better?
Absolutely.
And I felt like the big void that was missing was a blueprint. And, the book is simple. It has simple statements in it. And I like to call it a simple blueprint to take action to solve some of these major problems. And I think people are yearning for it. Look at the Super Bowl commercial with Clint Eastwood and Chrysler, which was ordained the best commercial of the Super Bowl. It was Halftime in America.
Right.
And how are we going to come together? How are we going to stop blaming? How are we going to start all the divisive rhetoric that is only going to be amplified for the next 9 months?
Right.
Right? And so how do we provide the people that look to us as leaders a way to escape out of all the negativity? To empower them with simple things to do in their own life. And when they tweak a few things, they not only make their own life better, they make their community better, and ultimately America better. And that is the pure core of the book.
Absolutely.
And I wrote it because I went to my beloved hometown last June, and the first thing I see when I get off the airplane is the Flint Journal. On the cover of the Flint Journal says Flint's #1 in violent crime in all of America. And this is a town that at one point was top 5 per capita in all of the United States. Right? This was the Silicon Valley of yesteryear, right? The automotive industry was born there. And so how did we fall from grace like that? And what can we learn? And what I've learned is bad choices, bad behavior, bad decisions truly have consequences. We cannot avoid the laws of nature and finance forever, right? We can put it off. You know, everyone gets a great workout regimen after they have a heart attack.
Right.
Everyone buys the security system after they've been broken into.
That's right.
And so how can we, instead of waiting for those crises to truly happen, how can we lead through to make sure they never happen and that we have more control over the issues in our lives? That's
huge. The one of the things I really appreciate about the book is that it's not particularly right-winged. It's not left-wing. There's things in here that I look at and I'm like, but then there's things in there and I'm like, yes, I can do this. Simple, practical things. For example, number 15, I can commit this month to exercising with the goal that will become a lifetime commitment. I think one of the key things that entrepreneurs, everyday leaders, we need to go is that it's about progress, not perfection. And so many of us get deterred away by doing anything and making a difference because they think, what difference is little old me going to make? And I think the story of this book and the story of what you're proclaiming, and it's the story of what we talk about as in leadership and changing the leadership culture of America, that let's do something and let's make progress. It's the progress, not perfection, as long as we're making steps and strides in that right area. So I applaud it. For those of you that are watching, you can track along with David in his 52-week journey. Like he said, he's only on week number 6 at icanfixamerica.com. Right, David?
That is correct.
Yes.
Also, the book's also available on that website, also on Amazon.com and BarnesandNoble.com. And 6 weeks into this journey, I've been surprised. And one of my biggest surprises have been corporate leaders and entrepreneurs and managers and corporations saying, you know what, my people need this book. And some of my biggest, supporters to date have been companies that buy it for every employee. Now, of course, I would love that. But it seemed to have provided a neat, positive spin for people to navigate through this, what's going to be a crazy election year, right?
Absolutely.
We're going to be bombarded with $10 billion worth of advertising, right?
Yep.
And so how do we have that kind of anchor in this turbulent storm? And maybe my book can provide some sort of way to escape and continue to progress, like you said, instead of get sucked into all the division and all the he said, she said, and the blame game. Let's just fix it.
Absolutely. So what I'm going to offer to people sitting out there is the first 10 people to email me, michael.williams@giantimpact.com. I'm going to get an autographed copy of David's book and send it to you personally because I believe in the book. I will pay for it, ship it to you, take care of that as a gift from me. So, David, we need to get together so we can so I can get those. But again, the first 10 people that email me and let me know that you want this book, I'll buy that for you and get it autographed for you. So, David, thank you for your time. I'm excited about the impact that this is going to have, and thank you for taking the time to do something, not only in writing the book, but in doing what you proclaim and being a leader and leading by example. Thank you.
It's an honor to be with you, and thank you for giving me the time to talk to your people.
Awesome. Again, Amazon.com, icanfixamerica.com to track and to purchase the book. Thanks, David.
Thank you, sir.